I mean, our district needs to step up and either fire Coach Solis or reassign him.
There you have it. Fire Coach Solis or reassign him. That's what Gene Garza says. He was the man who made the accusations. The former La Villa coach, the former Ed Couch Elsa assistant coach, said that in a taped interview with Joe Solis admitted to extra practice for the Yellow Jackets. The DEC said that and said, that's it, you're forfeiting the season. Ed Couch Elsa is appealing that to the state, but oh, there's so much more than that. Dennis, you and I watched the actual tape that Gene Garza made of Joe Solis, and Joe Solis did admit to extra practice, but he said every single time that it was voluntary practices. It was all voluntary. He said every single time, I have cleared this with the UIL. I have talked to Mark Cousins at the UIL, and every single part of the tape he says that. Is this all the DEC went on, just this tape? Did they need more proof? Did they have more proof in order to bring this ruling against Ed Couch Elsa?
Well, I know they did see it, and they also saw what Ed Couch had to present as far as their response, and they made their determination as far as that. So I'm not sure what Ed Couch presented yet. Obviously, it didn't help in their favor. Their punishment was still pretty harsh. But yeah, from my understanding is what we saw is also what the DEC saw. And while it's pretty condemning, obviously, I mean, straight from the horse's mouth, so Joe Solis is pretty much saying, hey, you don't have evidence of a watch at our practice taping from the start to the end. Unless you have that, you essentially have nothing, because it's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
We do operate on innocent until proven guilty, and so far I'm not sure exactly what proves Ed Couch Elsa guilty on this. I mean, to me, it looks like they're going to go up to state, Ed Couch Elsa is, and say, here we go. Yes, they practiced all this extra time, but it was all voluntary. Yes, there was a coach supervising them, but they weren't coaching them. It was all voluntary. And so, I mean, there are other schools that do this. I mean, one of the reasons why Harlingen is such a great team is because all their students go and they do voluntary weightlifting and they do voluntary practice, and it happens and the kids own it. Isn't that, I mean, that's what they're going to say at state, isn't it? I mean, from what I see, they're going to get cleared.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's really, in my opinion, I don't think this gets upheld at all. In fact, it does happen a lot everywhere else, and the fact is there's no proof. And if you don't have any proof, how can you uphold this decision? But also, we have to remember that there are more allegations against Ed Couch. It's also 7-on-7 football. Yes. So there's that. You throw in that the SEC will review that. I don't know how much the SEC will consider that, or if it's their own separate issues, but I don't see how this gets upheld.
Yeah, me neither. And you know, the 7-on-7 thing with Justin Solis, Coach Joe Solis' son, coached 7-on-7. He also coached track during the spring. Did they overlap? If so, I don't know. But Joe, Ed Couch Elsa is so much fun. It's the only place where all the school board members run on our promise of, if you elect me, I will get this coach in, or I will keep this coach in. The politics are incredible.
I've never seen it, and I've seen a lot of sporting outside the ballpark and the field and the gymnasiums, but this one tops them all when you got flyers passing around. And again, if ever you needed fuel on top of a fire that was a huge fire anyway, as far as the political movement and what group wants in, and that means what coaches are in, wow, this is it. And it's not over. There's more flyers coming, and when it's finished, there's still going to be finger pointing. This is going to go all the way to the polls, and maybe the biggest turnout of a vote. We may have some historical stuff there.
Man, if you want to get people involved in politics, and Ed Couch Elsa, just bring football into it. I've got 2 final points on this. How did the DEC make this ruling if this was all they had? I just don't know. Second, Ed Couch Elsa's boys, they're players, they're not going to lay down. This is not going to affect them. If anything, they're going to play harder. Yeah. I'm sure the rest of 32-4A winced whenever this was brought up, because they know that it's just going to be a tougher team to play. But that's it for that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the meat grinder that is District 31-5A. You know, a couple of upsets. Are they upsets? Weslaco East looked really good this past week, but are they the best team in 31-5A even playing at Bobby Lackey Stadium? Because Tony Villarreal is making a case for his Weslaco Panthers. It's all when we come back.